the Storm Darragh damage episode. So we woke up on Saturday morning to what looked like a hurricane had zipped through the farm, destroying everything in its path. The faithful greenhouse, however, is still standing. As you can see, it stood there for 4 years, no damage done. We had a little chat about what we were going to do to resolve the issues and set about putting things back together. As you can see, my turkey coop was turned onto its head. Having only just been refurbed from the old playhouse, I was rather gutted to see that. You can see in the background there, oh there we go, there's the trampoline, not in the most ideal of locations there. So in the night the turkeys had been turned upside down and they must have been traumatised.
I'm not going to get your face in.
There's Croc worrying over me getting his face in this video. I'm sure most of you know what he looks like anyway. The coop had become ever so flimsy, as you can see, having been ripped from the base. Its support from beneath had gone, so it was almost like trying to move a piece of wet paper. So we decided the best way for us to move it was by holding the roof. So we sort of did a little bit of a truckle brother here. To me, to you, to me, to you. I'll let you decide who's Paul and who's Barry. But here we go again. It was incredibly heavy. Having been out the night before, it felt twice as heavy as it probably was. The wind was still blowing a real gale at this point, so it was still catching hold of the coop. There's another part just dropping off the back. We decided that if we relocated it within the barn, it was at least out of the wind and in shelter, and that we would round the turkeys up and put them in the coop, because they have nowhere else to roost other than in the chicken coop, and they wouldn't have fit in there with all the chickens. Should we just put them in?
As long as it's fox proof, isn't it?
Like if it is, put them in now, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we had the mission of catching the turkeys, who had of course been traumatised overnight and had taken to safety beneath what was the stand. The floor is so slippy that any sort of fast movement, I was just nearly falling straight on my butt. So I left the turkey wrangling to the turkey wrangler. He's already caught 2 by that point, but the camera just missed him, Speedy Gonzales, catching them. Here he goes again after my failed attempt sent them flying everywhere. Is he going to catch her? Oh yes he is. I didn't doubt you for a minute, Croc. This turkey's chin makes me laugh so much. I know quite a few aesthetic clinics if you do ever want to get that sorted out. Little boy turkey.
Turkey rescue.
As you can hear, that was me nearly falling over. It completely annihilated my fence. It must have been pretty strong to have done. And in they went. I put their food in there and some water, and I just left them in there. They were soaking wet, so I thought it was best they spent the day in there. They got their food, they got their water. Croc decided to push those tyres around the base, because although it's quite significant in size, the flimsiness of it, with a fox, a very determined fox, would have just given way for them to get in and have a feast. So we just pushed those tyres around and went on to see what the damage had been caused. Having had destroyed the turkey coop, Storm Darragh also decided to destroy my coop that was housing the little chicks. So I went out and the lid was completely blown off. All the chicks were okay, and the mom. She'd done a fantastic job at keeping them warm. The inside was absolutely soaked, and as I say, the lid was completely ripped off. So that's what's happened to my little chick coop. Very sad. They did, however, all survive, and I've got them in a little coop in the barn by where the turkeys are. It's not exactly ideal, that coop either, but it's out of the wind, and it's definitely safer and better than this one now. So I'll just flip that back over. It's just going to get flipped again, but get it off the fence. This is the other coop, the chick coop. I can't actually hear much action, but there they are in there. As you can see, the roof there is a bed sheet with a piece of wood on top to stop Mr. Fox or any rats getting in. There's my greenhouse. My friend has given me that and put it all together, and I was waiting for some extra glass to come. Doesn't look like I'll be putting that up anytime soon. This is the side of the barn. That black sheet should in fact be covering all of the insulation and the geodrain. It was secured down with concrete blocks which have fallen now into the cavity of those internal walls. So Logan, I hope you are ready to do some slithering down that wall again, because believe it or not, my brother can actually fit between there and can actually extract lost items from the bottom of that wall. It's really disheartening to see what's happened here. We've spent so many hours of work and time putting that all together, for the wind to just come and rip it down. It's very disheartening. At this point, just hoping that nothing else disastrous has happened. So this is the basement of our house that we're building. So once it's built, I don't think we'll be as worried about Storm Darragh as we have been this weekend. As you can see, this end is definitely the worst. It's pulled the membrane off, but it's also torn the geo-drain away from the blocks which it was secured to, which is that piece flapping in the wind. Heard some rattling behind me, and then I noticed that loose roof sheet. Bit dodgy, to say the least. Then the power went off. So here we are.
Riv, can you tell us what we're doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing, Riv?
What?
What are we doing on the fire here?
I did.
This is our dinner, isn't it? Our stew that we've had to put on top of the fire to my dumplings all
To warm it
ran
up.
into each other. There, going hard now. Don't put that in there. You'll knock it off onto my legs.
And scold mommy.
River. Oh yeah, look, that one's going nice and hard now.
What one's going nice and hard now?
What, is this like off-grid living, Croc?
What?
Is this what you call off-grid living?
Oh, yours there.
So we've got two, how many generators?
I was there, Roo. I was there,
We've got two generators and not one works at this moment in time.
So to utilise the fire, I decided I'd heat the baby's milk on it. I'd make a cup of tea. I would heat the beef stew. Meanwhile, there was a barbecue outside rigged up to a Cala gas bottle, which I could have used, but I found this far more exciting. So tomorrow is the big clean-up of the devastation that Storm Darragh caused here at the farm. So let's see how long that takes us. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do consider pressing that like and subscribe button. Take care, we'll see you soon.